Okay, so Juke is at your house. Is Straight Drop at your house also?
Correct.
Okay, and you guys are talking about potentially a deal with CMG.
Yes. We were basically at my house. Juke was telling us how to promote the music, how to get Justin the type of buzz that was needed to actually sign to the label.
Drug got what it takes. You would think I signed with OVO the way I keep that Drake. Hey. Like being Melf, all the niggas that gon' shoot for me, the ones you see me with. I would shoot another rapper, why would I pay for a hit? Stand on business and check millions, still gon' spin when I get rich. Talk my shit and back it up, no matter how big that I get. Oh nigga.
Mr. Johnson, the jury having found you guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, the convicted felon in possession of a firearm. As the 13th juror, I affirm this verdict. As to the first-degree murder, I sentence you to life in prison. I will set punishment as to the conspiracy, then the convicted felon in possession of a firearm after a sentencing hearing.
I don't paint no bitch beside two real niggas. Two real niggas with a pussy in the middle, man. Y'all don't do that, man. Don't fuck up our legacy. It's a pussy right here, y'all. Two guys.
What's up, what it do? Drill Time TV checking in once again. Now, Hernandez Govan is on a campaign to misrepresent the truth on every platform that he questioned upon by convincing the world to believe that everything his pill-popping hitman claimed in the courtroom was a fictional depiction of what actually happened in real life. All because he had experienced attorneys that knew how to set the deck in the jury pool. But if you compare and contrast both of their stories together, only one of them really makes sense, showing cause and effect. Now, if Govan ain't careful, he go fuck around and pull a Keefy D and have his case reopened again. Now, one thing that stuck out like a bad BBL was, in the Vlad interview, Hernandez showed up to his house and he just happened to put it in the atmosphere that yogotti brother Juke, the one that demonstrated his hatred for Young Dolph every chance that he got, was just casually in the house chilling with Straight Drop. And he want us to believe that Cornelius approached him and said, oh, they ain't trying to do nothing about Dolph trying to take Gotti out. And Govan's response was, oh, no, that ain't none of my business, and closed the door in his face. Bow. And he said he wasn't about to relay nothing to that extent to Lil Juke, because shit, he was out here trying to get a record deal. He just trying to get in the rap game, you know?
But then at one point, Cornelius Smith showed up at the house as well.
Correct. There was a knock at the door, and I went to the door and it was Cornelius. And I was under the impression that he just wanted some X pills or whatever like he normally did. So I told him to come back later. I was trying to get a deal signed for Drop. And he was like, no, it's important. So I stepped outside and that's when he mentioned to me, he was like, man, they ain't trying to do nothing about Dolph trying to kill Gotti. So at that point, I never heard of that incident. You know, I heard of it. If you reverse it, I done heard of it that way, you know, the attempted hits on Dolph, but at that point, I hadn't heard anything about someone trying to do anything to Gotti. Mm-hmm. And I told him that wasn't my business, and I wasn't finna go back in and mention something to Juke that he hadn't said anything to me about. And so I just left it at that. Mm-hmm. And went back in and finished discussing the music and the actual deal. And
however, Cornelius would explain the situation very differently. He said when he arrived, there wasn't no Straight Drop there discussing no record deal with Big Juke. And matter of fact, Straight Drop wasn't there at all. He said when he popped up to get some pills that day, Govan walked him in the house, and that's when he met Juke for the first time. I guess Govan told Juke, look, this my man C I've been talking about, and Juke cut him off like, man, y'all take them phones outside. So Govan immediately take the phones outside, and Cornelius and Juke get to chopping it up for a minute. That's when Govan walked back in and he started running down the bounty prices of all the PRE art, with Young Dolph having the highest bounty at $100,000.
We knew that, you know, they had a hit on Dolph and them head or whatever, so...
Who had a hit on whose head?
Big Juke had a hit on Dolph's head or whatnot, so...
How do you know that Big Juke had a hit on Dolph's head?
Cause Quick had told me about it, Quick, and, you know what I'm saying, being just...
How much money was it supposed to be?
$100,000 on Dolph's head.
And had you agreed to do this hit?
Yes, sir.
How many times had you met with Joe?
Just one time he quit house.
At Quet's house?
He quit house.
And when did that happen? Before or after Dolph was?
It was before.
When that happened, was there conversation about these hits on the PRE rappers?
Yeah, really quick was doing all the talking, like, you know, just telling who out here pray, how much everybody had on their head and stuff like that. And Juke just like agreeing, like, you know what I'm saying? He made her take our phone outside first before he started doing any talking.
Who all was there for this meeting at Quet's house?
It was just me, Quet, and Juke.
You, Quet, and Joke.
He really wanted to meet. I had pulled up about some X pills and Juke was already in there.
Gotcha.
And Quet had started talking, you know what I'm saying, like, you see or heard it. And Juke like, hold up. Take my phone outside. He said our phone outside.
They came back in?
Yeah, nah. Quet took the phone outside in church. Me and Juke was already in the house, but Quet came back in and started talking.
At that time when you met with Joke, is that the first time that anybody's talked about money on Dolph's head?
Now, the first time, it was just Quet by himself.
So this had come up before with Quet,
Yeah,
and then comes up again with Quet and with Joke.
right.
When did you, in that timeline, so first just Quet, next Quet and Joke,
Right.
when did you met Justin in that timeline?
Ooh, you like right around the same time, you know what I'm saying?
As the first time when it was just Quet, or the second time when it was Quet and Joke?
Like, in between the first and the second time, I had, like, Quet had put me in just basically.
Okay.
That's how I met him through Quet.
Joke's the money man calling the shots.
Yeah,
Quet puts you and Justin together.
right.
And you and Justin are cool with each other.
I would like to point out that Vlad had him in a chokehold and he couldn't almost get out that figure four headlock. And Vlad tried to counterattack by asking him, so you didn't introduce Cornelius and Justin to Jook. So, what did you think when you heard that they happened to be the shooters and Jook set up the bounty? Did you think it was a coincidence? He got to speaking in riddles and tongues and all type of shit, you hear me?
Along with Straight Drop, another suspect, 32-year-old Cornelius Smith, was listed as a suspect as well. This is now two guys that were at your house a couple months prior.
Yeah.
So when you heard that these two guys that you personally know are suspects in the murder of one of the biggest rappers ever in Memphis, did you think that it was mistaken identity, or did you think like, okay, this actually makes some sense?
Well, actually, I know you said it was, I think you said it was posted January 15th or whatever about Justin, Straight Drop.
January 5th.
January 5th, he was a suspect. I knew the same day. It was all over social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, moments after Dolph got killed. And so, you know, everyone in Memphis, Tennessee knew about the CMG paper route beef. So after I, you know, made the introduction, the music introduction or whatever, I got out the way. I was still doing what I do in the neighborhood, on the street, you know, as far as selling my marijuana and whatever, you know, my sports betting, whatever it is that I do. So I couldn't babysit the music situation. When I made the music introduction, I got out the way, and I was still doing what I do. So when I heard that same day that Justin could be a suspect, you know, it was alarming because I knew he was in a space where it could possibly be true, you know, so yeah, it was alarming to me and concerning.
Now remind y'all, Jook and Govan was associates. And Govan said he introduced Straight Drop to him trying to get a record label, so Straight Drop and Cornelius didn't have no ties to Jook. So how is Cornelius connected to this hit if Govan didn't introduce him to Jook and Straight Drop? Hey, look, Quet, man, check it out. I don't know who you fooling, but the whole world already know that was your flunky that you sent off, man. That was your customer that you was serving. He went down with Trula Mafia. So for you to pair up Straight Drop and Cornbread like that, and Straight Drop kept quiet and got a life sentence, and you walk free, and for you to turn around and tell Vlad that Straight Drop was in a space where it could possibly be true, meaning that he hooked up with Jook behind your back and killed Dolph and you had no knowledge or nothing to do with it, with one of your customers riding shotgun, man, that's nasty work. Yeah, that's nasty work. Bro, you gotta quit sneak dissing and trying to create a narrative that this shit happened to Dolph because he brought it upon himself. We all know you was fucked up and sick your shooters on him on some middleman shit because you needed a couple bucks. Yeah, you already know. We read that book before you wrote it. Now, no matter if you agree with the verdict or not, we all can agree on one thing. It all boiled down to the jury. So it appears that a jury mostly comprised of African Americans just couldn't accept the fact that they were possibly listening to a truthful testimony based on the fact that Cornelius has a drug addiction and likes to get high as a coping mechanism because he recently lost his son. Not taking into consideration that this is testimony from the main shooter with the Draco. You know that Draco we seen in the video before the world even knew who the shooters were? Man, that was cornbread life that Straight Drop was rapping about when he was leaving clues on the internet, drawing attention to himself in the mix of the Dolph investigation. Well, it's clearly we seen Cornelius in that video holding that Drake like a crackhead, letting it get away from him. Man, I say that to say this. That man ain't had no reason to lie. And was telling the truth. He just didn't respect the fact how they tried to work their hand with the money after he already done crashed out and threw his life away. I believe they said he only got like 800 punk ass dollars. And look, if they wouldn't have got caught, he would have had to take that L on the chin. And Cornelius expected $40K from that hit, and after they did what they did, Cornelius contacted Straight Drop about the money, and Straight Drop told him hold tight and be cool cause Juke said it's hot right now, insinuating there's too much going on right now for anybody to receive their payout. And meanwhile, Straight Drop dripped down in design or doing features with CMG artists. But at the same time, Cornelius looking at this punk ass $500 in these few pills, and he's scratching his head like he's trying to make it make sense, but it ain't even adding up no more. So he like, oh, okay, I see what's going on. And all that clout chasing Straight Drop was doing Straight Drop done chased this shit straight into a 6x8 jail cell.
You were describing staying in touch with Justin, is that right?
Yeah.
To your knowledge, was he still in town or out of town?
My knowledge, he was here.
And you had mentioned the money, is that correct?
Yeah.
And he had told you that Juke said it was too hot right now.
Yeah, it was too high right now.
But were you still interested in your money?
Yeah, I just wanted my money. I did the job, I just wanted my money.
Now we're back after the murder, you're trying to get your money.
Right.
You're having conversations with Justin, is that correct?
Yeah, I was taking his phone like, you know what I'm saying? I need their money for the party.
And Cornbread would also mention about a month and a half after meeting Govan, he was seeing him and Straight Drop off on a mission to collect that bounty on Paper Road Woo, which ended in a shootout because Woo wasn't gone. Now Cornbread stated Govan provided him with a lemon ass pistol that he couldn't squeeze because it jammed like Smuckers. Quit fucking playing. So boom, he almost get his wig split to the white meat, right? But he made it up out of there. I guess Govan figured Woo would be easy money and an easy target. They said he was running game on Woo mind. Through her, he would send his fake love to foster trust and constant keep a tab on Woo whereabouts. Cornelius said it was him, Straight Drop, and Bobby. He said Bobby stopped messing with him when Straight Drop told Govan that Cornbread didn't wear a mask when he was tossing that paper route Woo. And you already know why they reporting to Govan. You know how I go in the hood. Whoever got the bag is the mover and the shaker while the junkies get controlled by their addictions.
How long have you known Mr. Govan?
I met him in 21. Like mid-21, something like that.
Mid-21, so?
Like, yeah, like in the middle of 21.
When you met him, under what circumstances were you meeting?
I met him through an individual named Bobby. Buy pills at the time. I was just buying pills from him.
And would that be Bobby Parker?
Yes, ma'am.
And you were buying pills from Mr. Govan?
Yes, ma'am.
And what kind of pills were you buying from Mr. Govan?
Ecstasy and sometimes Percocet pills, oxycodone.
Would you say, why were you buying pills from him?
Because I popped pills. I was popping pills at the time. That was my drug pill.
Was there a particular incident that caused you to start?
I had lost my son in 2020, March of 2020, and I just went back on.
You had been on them before?
Yes, ma'am, I had been on them before.
And then at some point stopped?
Stopped.
And after your son
got killed, I stopped at pop.
And through that course you got to know Mr. Govan?
Yes, ma'am.
So let's go back to mid-summer or so, however you say it, of 2021, when you first came into contact with Mr. Govan. At what point did the situation change from you, or did it change from you buying pills from him to something else?
Like I guess after a couple runs, going to buy pills on my own from him. You know, he started asking me that I want to make some money. You know, he knew ways I could get some money. I'm like, yeah.
Did you want some money?
Yeah, because sometimes I go to him and ask, can I get a couple pills on credit? So, you know, that was when he was like, you want to make some money? I'm like, yeah.
And why did you need money? Were you working at the time?
Yeah, nah, not really. I wasn't just working like that. I couldn't just keep a job with a bill and like that. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay. So you wanted money. What did you want money for?
A lot of different reasons. Make sure my children were straight, you know, pop me a couple pills, make sure I was good. A lot of different reasons.
And how many children did you have at the time?
I had 5. I got 5 now, but I had 6.
6 altogether. But this is.
It was after my son got killed. I had 5.
So at some point, Mr. Govan asked you if you wanted to make some extra money.
Make some money.
And how were you supposed to make extra money?
Well, he told me that, you know, it was a little bound on a couple paper out here.
Okay, I ain't understand nothing you said.
It was a hit on, it was a hit at the time on a couple guys in paper out here, or whatever.
Okay, and what were some of those individuals' names, if you can recall?
Paper out Woo, Young Dolph. I don't know all the names because I ain't know who they were.
At what point did he mention the actual boundaries, as you say?
One night leaving getting some pills, he mentioned the prices on, you know, who had 50 on his head, Young Dolph had 100 on his head, somebody had 5 on their head, 10 on their head. He mentioned the prices too.
So it was almost like a catalog. This person costs this much.
Yeah,
this
he
person
was telling
costs
us who had the money on their head, who had the most money on their head,
and who had
Young Dolph had the most money on his head.
And he had 100,000.
100,000 on his head.
And when you say his head,
I mean, if you kill Young Dolph, you get $100,000.
at some point you will testify that about the shooting of Young Dolph. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Prior to that, were you involved in any other shootings?
Well, one day, Mr. Govan had provided me with a gun, and he told us that Paper Route Rube was at home one day. So as we approached the house, for me, Bobby, Justin, and another guy, I don't know the other guy's name, Bobby dropped me off. I get out walking on foot. Paper Route Rube was coming out the house, and he had his gun in his hand at the time, and I was walking up the street, and me and him had a shootout or whatever. And the gun he provided me had jammed up, so you know I had to duck and Bob and weed, and Bobby had got to me. We got in the car and went back to his house and reported what had happened to him. And he was glad I ain't get killed that day right there. But Bobby was like, he wasn't messing with this stuff because he was believing what Justin them told him about. We messed it up or whatever, and we didn't have our masks on and all this. So Bobby felt that.
Was there an incident with Paper Route Rube that you're aware of prior to the incident where you were involved?
Nah, I don't know nothing else about like no incident with Paper Route. Just this shootout that I had with him, that's all I know about it. And he was saying that like he was going.
Who was he?
Mr. Govan was saying he was going.
Let me stop you. Did you call him Mr. Govan?
Nah, I called him Quick. That's what I knew him.
That was your nickname?
Yeah, Quick.
Would you feel more comfortable calling him Quick?
Yeah, I called him Quick.
Okay.
Quick was saying that he was going you would Paper Route Rube mama or whatever to find out what they be about, you know, play up on the other, find out where, you know, who and them be is so we could reach out and touch them, like, find out what it is.
Was it just he was going to see where Woo was, or was there other Paper Route artists?
Any one of them, like Woo, anybody in Paper Route, he was going to make sure that, you know, he could play because mama liked him, so he was going to try to play their father figure and, you know, find out what they is and make sure we can reach out and touch them.
So from when you met him in midsummer the shooting with Paper Route Route, how far from when you met him to when that shooting was?
I just can't recall, but it wasn't long after I met him though.
It was a couple of days, couple of weeks.
I say a couple of weeks, probably about a month and a half or so. You know, I can't be specific about it. I ain't gonna lie like this. Well, after that incident with Paper Route Route or whatever, and the gun jammed up, I think probably the next day I pulled up off Quick House or whatever and buy some pills. And when I pulled up, it was a truck sitting in front of the house or whatever.
Okay, what kind of truck?
I can't remember. I ain't gonna lie.
Like an SUV truck or F-150 truck?
Like an SUV truck.
Okay.
But I pulled up and I got at him. When he said, he was sitting up there with Juke. And he was like, here go a little C right here. Here go C right here. So Juke was like, oh look man, we ain't doing no talking around these phones, you know, take these phones outside.
Who said that?
Juke. Before we got to talking, he was telling him, like, we ain't talking around no phones, take the phones outside.
Who was he telling to take the phone?
He telling Quick that.
Okay.
Paperwood Woo will respond on the Blue Eye by saying, I just got off the plane. What these boys done said now? One user wrote, his gun jammed, that's it, that's all. Another user wrote, oh, your mom had a thing for Govan and he was about to play stepdaddy. Paper Route Woo responded, that man ass was finna die. And then they replied back, and I'm finna call her cause I need her side of the story. Young Dolph cousin Key Glock will chime in by saying, my city failed me, but what's new? And that's crazy, but you wanna hear something real crazy? Listen to the juror state the reason they came up with a non-guilty verdict.
It is a case that gripped the nation, the trial of Hernandez Govan, the man once accused of orchestrating the deadly attack on rapper Young Dolph, started and ended last week. 12 jurors acquitted Govan on all charges. The foreperson of that jury sat down with WREG's Dorita Patterson for an exclusive interview on how the verdict was reached.
2 words read aloud by the judge last week.
Not guilty.
Meant Hernandez Govan was walking out a free man after beating charges of conspiracy and first-degree murder in the shooting death of rapper Young Dolph. For the first time, the foreman of the 12-member jury says it is because of 2 words that decision to acquit was made.
Purely circumstantial.
Reasonable doubt, he went on to say, created when the defense began poking holes in the prosecution's case. Something the foreman noticed, he told us, was District Attorney Steve Mulroy as he popped in during the trial.
He knew right then and there, if that's the state's case, this isn't going well. And then he quickly exited after Mr. Aurora was shredding Mr. Smith on the stand.
It is that witness, Cornelius Smith, along with his girlfriend, Angela Arnold, who the foreman says were hardest to believe.
After Smith and Arnold testified, the state's best case scenario was a hung jury.
There wasn't just a feeling of untruthfulness, the juror told us, but a lack of proof.
It's not what you know, it's what you can prove in court. Why did you not get the video evidence?
Walking us through those final moments inside the small deliberation room where the big decision was reached.
We all were kind of on the same page except for one person. That person felt conflicted about the definition of conspiracy.
Eventually, all of the jurors came to the same conclusion.
There were tears afterward, and the judge even said, like, this is a big thing.
Meaning Lady Justice would not be leaning in favor of Young Dolph's family.
I'm sorry for what we had to do, but that wasn't our choice.
In the end, it was a clear choice, he told us, as Hernandez Govan would walk out cleared of all charges.
So the star witness / lead shooter, along with his girlfriend that incriminated herself by saying indirectly that she went in the AutoZone and purchased the car cover herself for the vehicle used in a homicide, was the hardest to believe. And what video evidence was he talking about? Because we got a video with the shooter on there talking about, this is me right here with the Draco. He ID'd himself. Then he turned around and told you, look, this is why I did it. I needed the money and this is who put me up to it. They even got the phone records showing that they all was corresponding with each other. I don't believe that AutoZone footage would have really played a big difference. They telling telling you, look, we did it. We put this car cover on this car and parked it across the street from this motherfucker. What can an AutoZone video possibly show? What, that they wasn't on the video and they making this shit up? And Memphis insiders seem to believe that Govan had motive to do something to Dolph because Dolph signed an artist from Memphis that killed J Money brother D Money. However, Govan better tread lightly because word on the net is the bounty on his head is $200K, and that's double the amount they had on Dolph. But y'all know how it go, and street niggas go want you free anyway so they can hold court in the streets. But I don't know. I'd like to know how y'all feel in this situation. Let me know in the comments, did the jury make the right decision? And could somebody please explain to me what he meant by sorry we had to do it, but it wasn't our choice? Sorry we had to do it, but it wasn't our choice. It's crazy. Hit the like button and the notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next one. Drill Time TV, I'm out.